Welcome to My Hometown, the program that explores clubs, organizations, businesses, and issues across Nassau and Suffolk counties and sheds light on the different towns that are making a difference.
Hello and welcome to My Hometown. I'm Bill Horan, along with my co-host, Nassau Community College student Corey Kaufman. And today we're shining the spotlight on a local singer and owner of a music store here on Long Island.
Ooh, maybe I could get a couple of free guitar lessons out of this?
You might get lucky, Corey, because joining us today is Sarah Khan, singer, songwriter, and owner of Eskay's Music Lessons in Syosset. Sarah, welcome to My Hometown on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
How did you get into music? How did this all start?
So interestingly enough, I think it was mostly my father.
Okay.
So when I was growing up, he introduced the music to me. I think he found out that there were other girls who were taking piano lessons on our block. So he wanted me to as well. And it was weird because I had never asked to study music. And I was open to it and it clicked. And just because of being open-minded and trying as a kid, I mean, sometimes you have your son or daughter try something and it doesn't work, but it just kind of like naturally fell into place and then it just built upon itself. So, yeah.
Now, I told you I'm not a music person. How does someone go into songwriting? Did you jump into this? Was it part of it? Or just one day you heard this song and put some words to it? Or how does that work?
Well, I feel like I remember, like in high school, I would always, do poetry, like whether it was in classes or I would write a lot in my journal. But, at that time, I feel like I didn't really know how to turn that into songwriting, or I just didn't feel confident enough. And then it wasn't until like after I graduated college that I started meeting a lot of different musicians. And after hearing them play, and I said to myself, I've been studying music. I think I could do this too. And that's how that process started, just by coming to the instrument. So when I say that, meaning coming to the piano, just playing around. I think it definitely helps to listen to all different styles of music. It's like if you want to build a good vocabulary, read a lot. If you want to be a better songwriter, just listen to all different styles of music. And yeah.
I'm thinking when you heard the other people playing in that, you probably said, I can do better than that.
I'm not going to lie. A little bit of it.
Okay.
I mean,
And well, now you have your own place, Eskay's. So, right?
Yeah. That was all interesting because ideally what I really wanted to do, I wanted to be a performer. Mm-hmm. I wanted to like do the whole pop star thing. Like I've always wanted to do that. But, somewhere in between all of that, it was actually my mom. She had suggested, she's like, why don't you teach on the side? This is like back in 2004. And so I did it, not really thinking of it much. And then someone had said to me, well, if you want to work in a school, you have to get certified. So, by the way, I went to NYU for undergrad. And then I went back for my master's in music education, thought I wanted to work in the public school, did it for like a minute, hated it. It was like the worst experience ever for me. And then I decided I had to figure out like what I wanted to do. And I was still doing a few lessons with a few people on the side. And then I had said to myself, wouldn't it be great if I got a chance to start my own program? So for like a good part of, I want to say 20, is it okay for me to give dates?
Yeah.
And stuff like that? I'm really good with dates and numbers
fine.
and
Sure.
stuff. So like a good part of 2014 and 2015, that's all I did. A lot of research, learning from other schools and lesson companies. So we're not a physical location. We're a lesson company, which means we're online and we provide in-home lessons.
Oh,
so
nice. That's nice for people. Okay.
So there's a lot of those companies out there all around the country. So just researing and learning about
But
it.
yours is the best. Yes, it is. We're saying yours is the best. Eskay Music.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, and I feel very fortunate to have worked for a number of different music schools out in Long Island. That was kind of a big inspiration because, to be honest, I wasn't very happy working in a lot of these schools. I'm not going to name any of them or anything like that. But because I had the opportunity to be there, I learned like what not to do and how I wanted to do a different type of business model. And I think that's kind of the reason why we've grown the way we've grown. I make it very simple, very reasonable. It's very simple to sign up with us. There's not a lot of red tape or hidden fees or
Sounds
very
good.
straightforward. Just
Right.
wanted to create something that was honest, very honest.
Like the Honest
word I'm
Iced Tea
trying to
Company.
use. Yeah.
Okay. The Honest Music Company. I like that.
So who are some of your musical influences?
Oh, well, it's a good question. I mean, right off the bat, a huge Coldplay fan.
Really?
But not so much anymore.
Bittersweet Symphony, all that?
Yeah. Well, no, that song is by a band called The Verve.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
I mixed them up.
Yeah. No, but Coldplay was huge. I like them. I think I was just so into them that I've calmed down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so like, oh. But definitely a lot of Britpop growing up, like Oasis, Blur.
Mm-hmm.
I love electronic music, definitely classical music because I'm classically trained on the violin and the piano. But bands like Depeche Mode and The Cure, I like your T-shirt.
She complimented my T-shirt when I walked into the studio.
They're a great band.
See, you dressed perfectly for the show.
Madonna, 80s music. I'm definitely forgetting bands. I feel like every day I'm like, oh yeah, them too, and oh yeah, them too. But I've been fortunate. I've seen some really amazing artists and groups in my lifetime, like bands that either have broken up or sadly have passed and stuff like that.
Now, Sarah, what instruments do you play?
So I am a singer, obviously, piano and the violin.
Okay, a little bit of everything in there.
Multi-instrumentalist.
Mm-hmm. You want to, Corey?
So tell us a little bit about your writing process.
Okay, specifically with this record or just in general?
Just in general,
Just
you
in
know.
general.
You're telling us you're not the best with lyrics?
No, I'm terrible. So what has always come to me first, at least when I started doing all of this, which, by the way, I want to say I started like in the mid-2000s. So I, at that time, I actually would commit an X amount of time every day to being on the piano because I thought maybe that was going to be helpful. One other thing I forgot to mention, Radiohead. Huge influence.
There you go.
Yeah. So I remember at the time I was listening to Kid A a lot.
That's a great album.
Yeah. Oh, so good still. The music, that first EP that I recorded definitely was like heavily influenced by that. So I did that by myself, and then I met this producer in the city. And we recorded that, and nothing really came of it. And I was very disappointed because I spent a lot of time, a lot of energy, and this is when I decided to go back to grad school. But then in terms of songwriting, I didn't do anything for a while. I guess I kind of got like upset and a little jaded about it. And then in 2015, I met this guitar player, and I guess I was just inspired to start that process again. I kind of wanted to impress him as well. I was trying to get his attention a little bit, so that motivated me. And then I started getting ideas in my head, like actually the song that where you're going to be playing called Home. The melody I had for some time, but then I finished writing it while I was trying to find a parking spot at this mall not too far from here called Roosevelt Field. And it was on a weekend. So just by doing that, using my time wisely, having voice memo, you can record the melody, la, la, la,
Isn't that a great story? All aspiring writers who want to produce music should go drive around Roosevelt Field for a few hours and see what happens. They'll probably
you
see
never
you.
know,
And,
right?
That's probably why there's traffic jams. All these songwriters driving around saying, I just want to be like Sarah. I want to be like Sarah.
Absolutely.
So you are listening to My Hometown on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Corey Kaufman, along with Bill Horan. And today we're talking with the up-and-coming music artist and owner of Eskay Music Lessons in Syosset, Sarah Kahn.
Sarah, starting your own business, now that's interesting for anybody, but musical people, we always see them as creative. It's like the scientific people who can put two things together, but their socks don't match. So did you find that especially hard, or did you have a partner who did the business end and you did the teaching end?
Interestingly enough, no. I've always felt comfortable. And it's funny, somebody had told me this like 10 years ago. They were like, oh, you would be really good at managing people or putting artists together and just kind of taking the lead. I've always been really good, even in college. Like, I've always felt like I'm good at getting people together to get something done. And I would do that, like even like with my papers and stuff, I would bring in the right people to like help me write it and stuff like that. So no, it felt very natural to me. And I was also just really inspired because I feel like, when you're doing anything creative and you've been blessed with those kind of opportunities, I almost feel it's like a responsibility to give back. There's so many young people out there that, want to take lessons and they want to do stuff, but maybe they just need somebody to just kind of push them a little bit. And if they have the right teacher, that can make all the difference.
But
know
any
for
business
me,
can be hard for a business person.
Yeah.
And if you're more the creative type, this can be like, oh, I don't want to do the accounting. I don't want to do the marketing. I just want to teach.
It's
and
actually
show.
funny. I know this might sound really boring, but I actually really enjoy the administrative
Do you?
side.
Okay.
I really do. And I know it might sound a little dorky because I've got some people helping me. I have a wonderful accountant, wonderful bookkeeper, all this kind of stuff. But like, I actually like doing it because it's mine. So at the end of the day, I'm the one that's making sure that everything is organized. Like, I guess, like when it's yours, you take more pride into it. So for me, nothing is boring. If anything, I don't teach as much anymore because I've been doing it for so long. I really just want to be behind the scenes. And a lot of my teachers are younger. So I just want to be there to help them and support them and give them the opportunities that I didn't really find that I got when I was working for a lot of different music schools, like for them to feel appreciated. That makes me really happy.
And it's nice you have the talents to do these other things.
Right.
It's just a little more unusual. You would think the musician would say, I don't want to do any
No,
of
that's
that.
very
I just
true.
want to play
Yeah.
and create.
Yeah.
And you're blessed with many talents. So
Thank you.
That's good.
I appreciate that.
Corey?
So the EP is called Dust It Off.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the story. Why is it called that?
A lot of the songs are very inspirational. One of them has like an anthem feel. It's really just about believing in yourself, never letting anybody get you down. So dust it off. It's like if something goes wrong or, you fall or fail, just dust it off and I guess move on. Easier said than done, but I thought it had a nice ring to it. Yes, one of the songs on the EP is called Dust It Off. Just let it go. And, tomorrow's a new day type of feel. I know that might sound very, I don't know. I kind of feel like in a lot of ways, maybe it's not really original, but everybody has their own spin on what that means to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think at the time I just wanted to create positive music and try to, that kind of feel and that kind of tone.
Now,
so I think that comes across.
Talking about that before the show, how long does it take to create something like that? Because I think the common perception is that we think of a songwriter and they just get music in their head and they knock it out and it becomes a great hit. And I really have no idea whether it's a matter of years, minutes, hours, days, months, or whatever. Could you take us through the process and how many changes you might go through? Is it like an author who rewrites the book 8 times?
Yeah, I guess it really just depends. I know for me, so the original goal was to just record the song that you guys are going to be playing, so we'll call Home. And I met this producer through this guitar player that I was working with, and I went in. It went very well, and then I said, you know what? Why don't I try this again? Why don't I try writing an EP again? So we went in the next day, and I finished the entire thing. No, I'm just kidding. No, it took about 8 or 9 months because it was a far commute for me. We did it out in Jersey, this very small
And you drove
town.
back to Roosevelt Field and rode around in circles every day? Is that
Right,
it?
yeah, exactly, to get more songs.
Yeah, sure.
No, but it took most of 2018, and honestly, almost every weekend was spent going there. Like, I literally spent like 4 hours commuting, but I felt very strong about the project, and
Actually,
yeah.
that's a very good sign. When someone, Corey, cares that much to do that, you hear sports people who say, I went 2 hours to train with so-and-so or work out with this pitcher or the batter or whatever the field is, a passer in football or learning to block properly. And right away, that tells you something about them. They have the desire, they have the drive, they have the focus. And usually if you have that much, you kind of put yourself in that elite category of people who are going to get ahead and do a great job.
yeah.
And we're going to have some fun now because usually we just take a break, but we will stop and tell our audience that you're listening to My Hometown on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Bill Horan, and I'm here with Nassau Community College student Corey Kaufman. And today we're taking the opportunity to talk to up-and-coming music artist and owner of Eskay Music Lessons in Syosset, Miss Sarah Khan. And Sarah, today we're going to hear one of your songs. It's called
Yes.
Home. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Tell us a little bit how that came into being before we play it.
Yeah, so I had this musical idea for some time, and I didn't know what to do with it. And then a couple of years ago, I met this guitarist, and I was inspired to finish because I kind of liked him, and I wanted to impress him. And so I put it together, and I was telling the story. I was trying to finish it, and I was trying to find a parking spot in the mall, and I was just inspired to finish it. And the words kind of came out, which was interesting because I'm not good at the words, but it flowed. Then I brought it back to this other guitar player. He actually came up with the lyrics for I guess you would call it a chorus. And that's how it kind of came about. So that then motivated me to record the rest of the songs. But what I really like about this track is like I always, excuse me, I've always loved electronic music. I've loved dance music. So I wanted to create, an electro pop type of song. So this was exciting for me because this is the only song of the EP that has that feel, and I had never done that before, so that was super fun.
I'm sure our audience will love it because instead of a commercial today, we're going to hear your song, and it's called Home, correct?
Fantastic.
Okay, Michael, take it away.
You wanted something, but something got in the way. Complain there's nothing, 'cause nothing is what you gave. And now we're fighting, 'cause you never see the things my way. And now you're hiding. Stand back, honey, honey, I remember this game. My heart was a beacon of love lighting up the dark. You're trying to sneak back in, rewind back to the start. And now we're fighting, 'cause you never see the things my way. And now you're hiding. Stand back, honey, honey, I invented this game. Now you want it all back, and you can't let it go. But I locked the door to that place called home. So close your eyes and make a wish tonight, 'cause it's not right with you anymore. So I locked the door to that place called home. I'm falling backwards. How did it come to this? Looking for answers, figure out what I've missed. And now we're fighting, 'cause you never see the things my way. And now you're hiding. Stand back, honey, honey, I invented this game. Now you want it all back, and you can't let it go. But I locked the door to that place called home. So close your eyes and make a wish tonight, 'cause it's not right with you anymore. So I locked the door to that place called home. Called You want it all back, and you can't let go. You want it all back, and you can't let go. So close your eyes and make a wish tonight, 'cause it's not right with you anymore. So I locked the door to that place called home. I locked the door to that place called home.
That was wonderful. To our audience, I want you to know that was Sarah Kahn. Sarah is our guest today, and her song Home. And we want you to know you're listening to Sarah sing on My Hometown on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Sarah is a Long Islander, and she's the owner of Eskay's Music Lessons in Syosset, and that's spelled Eskays. It sounds like the initials Eskay, but it's not. I was bopping to that song, and I'm not even a music type
you.
person. Now you're going to get everybody driving around Roosevelt Field all day writing songs. So what would you say your genre is that you write about?
What do you mean? Like,
is it fast-paced songs? Is it romantic, slow?
I think it's a combination of both. This was a little bit of a challenge because I don't usually do stuff like this. I feel like because of my influences, definitely more ballads and stuff like that. But I think as a songwriter, you should always challenge yourself, listen to new types of things. But yeah, I definitely feel like, especially on the piano, it just comes more natural to me to do just slower type of stuff.
Now, I never heard that song before. First time.
I'm glad you liked it.
I think I'm going to be humming it. I think it's going to be in my mind. No, really, it's very pleasant. I was going to say nice things about it anyway.
Yeah.
But now, no, but it really, it's just one that catches you. And it really is. I guess it must be a really elaborate process that all goes through that to make it sound so good. But your voice and the music connecting together.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
That was very nice. So.
Yeah.
Is that you doing all the instrumentation on the track?
No. So the producer I worked with, his name is Rob Freeman. He literally was wearing like 15 hats. Very impressive. Like, he did the arrangement, he produced it, he mixed it. On the EP, he plays a ton of the instruments, all the drums, most of the acoustic and electric guitars. He added in all the synth sounds. Like, this is all him. Like, I sang it to him a cappella. That's how I normally bring it in, like I guess you call it like a skeleton framework. And I gave him some reference tracks, and I'm like, I want it to be in this direction, this type of genre. And then he came up with these ideas, and I liked it, and that's kind of like how this came to be. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is there an artist that you would want to like collaborate with?
Oh, Chris Martin.
Really?
Yeah. Him or from Coldplay, I guess. Mm-hmm. Although maybe Noel Gallagher.
Interesting.
Who's the guitarist from Oasis?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know he's solo now, but maybe they'll come back together. I don't know.
Well, you are listening to My Hometown on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Corey Kaufman, along with Bill Horan. And today, we're talking with up-and-coming music artist and owner of Eskay Music Lessons in Syosset, Sarah Kahn.
Sarah, let's go back to talking about your school. And again, for our audience, I'd like to know, while we say Eskay, it's not just the initials, it's Eskay. Apostrophe S.
Yeah.
Music Lessons. Mm-hmm. Now, when did that open?
So we've been open for about 3.5 years. And I think I mentioned, so Eskay's is basically my initials spelled into a word. I was originally gonna call it Sarah's Music Lessons, but you'd be surprised how many
hundreds,
those
thousands.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I know there's one in California for sure.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what? Let's come up with something that's different. And I wasn't even trying to be catchy. I wanted it to have some meaning.
And you go right to the home for the lessons. So the kids,
we all come to you. Yeah.
And like, what type of numbers can we ask you? What we're talking about? Are there, billions, hundreds, thousands?
Hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands.
No, we currently have over 200 students.
That's a lot. And
well, that's
you're
impressive.
Here on Long Island. Yeah, that's a lot.
And just been in the hiring process. We have a lot of our teachers are either affiliated with NYU or the Aaron Copland School of Music, which is part of Queens College. I have a teacher right now. She's a teacher at the Locust Valley School District. But yeah, it's been really great. I mean, we have teachers that have a few students. We have teachers that have like 30 students. I myself also teach as well. But because we've grown so much, I've kind of stepped away from it. And I'm just I really enjoy running the school. I really enjoy being there to not only support our teachers, but to be there for the families we work with and the students. So for me, I wanted to create something that was very personable. And anyone that knows me and that works with me knows that if they're trying to get in contact with me, whether it's email, text, or phone, that I will respond in a, I guess, a responsible way.
And I'm sure once they hear that song, and that's kind of your best ad. All you have to do is say, play
I hope
this
they
CD
do.
and
Who knows who's listening out there?
Well, no, but I mean, even if a student comes up and says, why should I go with you? Listen to this song and see if
I've
you want
shared it with a number of students. Not everyone. I guess it just depends on what they want to do. Like a lot of my vocal singers, I'll share it with them. I think it's important to do that because then it opens up the door for them so they know the possibilities. Like right now, maybe they're just taking lessons for a hobby or they're doing it because it's one of 50 other million things you're doing, but you never know. Like they'll hear it and be like, maybe I could do that too, or maybe it's something. I always encourage my vocal and piano students, if you'd like to go into songwriting, if you want to learn to be able to sing and play at the same time, I don't think it's that hard. Maybe a lot of people do. It seems like a lot of multitasking, but I'm all for it. If you're down to do it, I say go for it. I think anybody can hone that.
And just another question, because I'm sure some of our listeners may be asking this. What are the ages that you typically work with?
So majority of our school are between the ages of 4 and 15. But
As
we
young
do
as
have
4, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
It depends. I would say for age 4, really piano and violin, not voice, because their voices are still developing, but mostly elementary age. And we do have a number of adults, people that either never got the chance or did
That's
and
kind of
stopped.
cool.
Yeah, it really is. It's rewarding within itself, just working with like younger adults or even people
Years
in their 40s,
ago, and
50s, 60s.
Corey doesn't know the story, but years ago we had a child piano prodigy.
Oh.
And he came on here. He was a very nice little boy, and he's about 45 pounds. So he wasn't the athletic type, but he was excellent at what he did with the piano. And I asked him, I said, "What do you like about playing the piano most?" And he said, "Now he had to be about." You said you started at 4, so I guess he was in about the 5th grade. And he said, "It helps you meet girls, and they all think you're really cool." And
Yeah.
but you really liked it.
But
to come out with that answer, it was just so funny the way he dropped it in because you didn't
I love
expect that from him.
Because
right?
it doesn't happen for girls. Like you could be on. It's not the same. It just isn't. Like I used to think that too. Like I'll be performing. I'm sure a lot of guys will come up to you. They really don't. It's the other way.
It's the other way, but
It's
that's
so
his
strange.
thing. That was his mark in the world, which I give him a lot of credit. He not
Yeah.
only was he very good,
There you
but
go.
people really liked him, and he had performed at the highest levels, and he appreciated. But I guess other kids knew it and admired him for it, which was nice too, because we all have our thing, whether it's sports or the chess team or the fencing team or speech and debate or whatever. So.
Well, that's why you started doing radio, right, Bill?
That's right. I needed my thing. So I after failing at everything else, I finally found it.
Yep.
So.
So what kind of services does your music school provide? Is it it's like piano and it's guitar, it's voice?
So
How many
right
instruments?
now, we have a variety of instruments, but our most popular are piano, voice, and violin. We do woodwinds. We're bringing back the guitar program. Had a bit of put a pause on it for a bit, and what I want to do is expand, bring in the brass instruments, drums, stuff like that. But majority of people want to do vocal lessons, piano and violin, and that's what I teach. I do all 3. I guess I equally like all 3. But yeah, only private lessons. Not people always ask about the group thing. Honestly, I think if you're learning an instrument, it's got to be one-on-one.
Yeah. No, definitely.
First, I mean, people have different opinions on that, but
Now, Sarah, if somebody after hearing this says, "How do we get in touch?" or "Where are you located?"
Yeah.
Tell us.
So the easiest way would be to go on the Facebook page. Can I say my Facebook page?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, sure.
So it's facebook.com/Eskay's Music Lessons, spelled ESKAYS, Music Lessons, plural. That would be the best way. A lot of photos, a lot of videos. We have a ton of reviews. So thankful for all the families that we work with who take their time to put their reviews. You can go on the website, which is just skaysmusiclessons.com, but the Facebook page is really the place to go. That's where it's easier to interact.
And
clients
if there's a
and-
field trip, is it around the parking lots around Roosevelt Field?
Maybe Walt Whitman Mall this time.
And imagine that someday they go, "This is where Sarah Khan wrote her first song, right here, driving around in circles." And
Or particularly the parking lot in front of Nordstrom.
in front of remember that. That's
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
ad.
I know
And maybe
exactly.
now you'll be sponsored. You'll be always wearing a
Just
Nordstrom
that
T-shirt.
one.
You'll get a sponsor there. Sarah, we want to thank you for being with us today and let our audience know. Our guest has
Yeah.
been Sarah Khan, Kahn. She's the owner of Eskay's Music Lessons in Syosset. Thanks so much for being
Thank
with
you.
us.
This is so much fun. Appreciate it.
I'm Bill Horan. I'm here with Corey Kaufman. Thank you for listening to this week's edition of My Hometown.
We like to get your feedback on My Hometown. Send your comments to WHPC@ncc.edu. Nassau Community College, where success starts and continues. Till next time, this is Bill St. James. And remember, there's no town like your hometown.